helicopters, including Mi-35, for the ongoing crackdown on bandits tagged Operation Gamma Aiki in Niger State. Mokhtar Abubakar Wawo reports that the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, disclosed this while on an inspection visit to Niger State.
Some communities in 7 local government areas of Niger State in recent times have come under a series of attacks from bandits, which resulted to loss of lives, while more than 10,000 persons have been displaced. The visit of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, to the state gives a ray of hope to the affected communities, as he assured of the Nigerian Air Force commitment to work closely with other security agencies in tackling the internal security challenges. Air Marshal Baba Abubakar inspected facilities including an aircraft used for the training of special personnel on aircraft hijacking at the 013 Quick Response Force, Nigerian Air Force Mina. While at the Government House, Mina, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, says the Air Force has deployed
and Medium Enterprises Development Agency's database. The focus is to get as many MSME operators as possible registered and supported, with the aim of realizing the desire of President Buhari to take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. State House correspondent Jide Odifade reports.
Relevant stakeholders in the MSME clinic converged on the Office of the Vice President for critical analysis of their activities in order to chart the way forward in achieving set goals. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagum, says the meeting deliberated on new ideas on how to leverage on the MSME clinic to render assistance to operators across the country.
In terms of impacting on the economy, we see it in terms of the number of new MSMEs that have come on board. We see it in the number of exports. We see it in the number of new products that are in the market, because of course we are talking about local content. People are taking our own local materials and making products that are sold in the Nigerian market. So to that extent, there is a big impact.
So far, the MSME clinic has held in 26 states of the Federation, and the next one is scheduled to take place in March this year. The meeting was presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. In the State House,
National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko reports.
Shortly after entrance procession by the presiding and principal officers, the Senate settled down for the first plenary of the week. Legislative intervention in federal government revenue generation was the first motion on the order paper. Senator Uche Ekwunife moved the motion, which aimed at employing modern tax solutions and information technology in checking tax fraud.
And in meeting the federal government's drive and quest for increased and enhanced internally generated revenue at all levels of government.
Let's employ technology to make sure that every kobo that is supposed to go to the coffers of government goes into the coffers of government.
Senate thereafter mandated its committees on banking and finance to carry out investigation on alleged non-remittance or on the remittance of withholding tax due to the federal government.
To investigate this matter and ensure that all withholding tax revenues on both bank deposits and dividends are recovered and report back to the Senate in 4 weeks.
The Senate has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to reconstitute the Federal Character Commission as the tenure of the present commission elapsed in 2018. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Unko, NTA News.
The House of Representatives is seeking alteration to the Constitution to provide immunity for presiding officers of legislative houses. The bill, sponsored by Representative Olusegun Odebumi, calls for alteration of Section 308 of the 1999 Constitution to enable extension of immunity to presiding officers of the National and State Assemblies. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Arm of government, legislative arm of government, is the only arm that signifies the democracy in the nation all over the world.
If it's for presiding officers, then I cannot preside over this bill because there's an inherent conflict of interest.
The bill generated debate during plenary as House members gave diverse views.
So I think we should jettison it and withdraw it completely because it will be sending wrong signal.
The simple, noble objective is that is to provide protection as well for leaders of our institutions because they are leaders of very pragmatic and important institution of democracy in Nigeria.
The executive arm of government, they have immunity. Even the judicial arm of government, they have immunity, they have judicial immunity.
It passed second reading and was referred to House Committee on Constitutional Review. Other bills which passed through second reading include a bill seeking a change of name for Federal University Oye-Ekiti to Adeyinka Adebayo Federal University, as sponsored by Representative Adeyemi Adaramodu, and a bill to establish Maritime Development Bank from Representative Mansour Soro. Among motions adopted are the call to deploy security personnel to areas facing kidnappings and armed robbery in Abia State, as moved by Deputy Chief Whip Nkiruka Onyejocha. A need to halt incessant attacks by gunmen in parts of Delta State from Representative Ejirogene Waive, and the motion from Representative Yusuf Buba urging authorities to provide security in Garikida, Adamawa State, which was attacked by Boko Haram insurgents over the weekend.
Places of worship, markets, shops, homes, police stations, and barracks in the town were destroyed and burned down.
Apart from Garkida, in the last 4 weeks, Your Excellency, villages around Chibok, like he has just described, villages in my constituency, Ngulde, Askra, were also attacked.
The lawmakers, following a motion from Representative Ania Kanumana, want the National Boundary Commission to help bring to an end the lingering border dispute between Akwa Ibom and Abia States in view of clashes that have claimed lives. In the meantime, the House has urged the federal government to appoint federal commissioners from the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory into the Federal Character Commission, as moved by Representative Onyime Idem.
For some years now, that commission has been running without commissioners. The only one standing at the moment is a commissioner from Zamfara State, and he has been appointed as the acting chairman.
The House considered 3 bills at the Committee of the Whole. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has reiterated the federal government's commitment to make the creative industry a viable sector. The minister stated this while endorsing a planned roadmap for tourism development by the Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation in Abuja. Anthony Forsen tells us more.
Describing NTDC as a pivot upon which tourism in Nigeria sits, the minister said the creative industry has emerged as the nation's oil of the future, given its enormous potentials and the generation driving it.
NTDC is not just the apex organization for tourism, but it's actually at the center of all of these tourist activities.
The minister said with Nigeria standing as a nation to be reckoned with in all spheres of the creative industry, it is only natural for the tourism sector to set the tone for investment in line with its visa on arrival policy.
Our visa on arrival policy has actually opened the tourism industry in a manner that never been happened before. To start with, any African today can travel to Nigeria and at the port just apply for his visa.
Director General Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, Folonjo Koka, told the minister that the corporation has consciously studied the operational needs and focus of the industry and discovered that the roadmap is the only way forward. He was, however, quick to solicit for the minister's intervention on a bill yet to
also affects the lives of the tourists. So all those things are pluses for us in NTDC as well.
To this end, the DG said plans are underway to seek funding collaboration with government and non-governmental organizations who will want to be visible on the NTDC platform, given its wide reach out. In Abuja, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
A national action plan for the coordination of disaster management is underway as the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development engages stakeholders to strengthen Nigeria's capacity for effective disaster management. Ruth Aguela reports that this was at a two-day stakeholders meeting in Abuja to meet the set objective.
Disaster is not anything anyone envisages, but it is inevitable. Nigeria is said to be among countries at risk of crisis and disaster, a situation that has raised a lot of concerns on the part of the federal government. Consequently, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is adopting a strategic approach by engaging stakeholders for a collaborative framework that will strengthen the capacity of the country to effectively manage disaster risk.
Disasters and their potential for large-scale devastation have to be managed as a matter of urgency. Achieving success in the management of disasters in Nigeria requires proper planning and multi-sectoral approach.
This singular effort, I am sure, will strengthen our activities in search of solutions to all challenges inherent of disaster management.
As such, there is great opportunity to build stronger integrated mechanisms to reduce the risks and enhance preparedness to disasters.
A common understanding is expected to be reached at the end of the two-day summit to inculcate the global best practice. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
The threatening impacts of substandard and counterfeit drugs in
This conference is coming at the right time as scourge of standard and falsified medicine is hampering safe healthcare delivery in Nigeria and many countries globally.
Nigeria is presently moving fast in curbing the menace through NAFDAC established 7 laboratories across the country.
We've got to have the capability to test whether these products are fake or not fake.
Minister of Health Dr. Osage Ahenare and other players drew attention of the regulatory bodies across 43 countries in Africa on information sharing to stem the tide of substandard drugs.
Provide governments with reliable data on distribution of substandard and falsified medicines.
It's not only to network, it's to share ideas, it's to share best practices because we have to borrow from those who are doing it very well.
The vision of the forum is to perfect quality medicines in Africa through technical working group of the African Medicines Regulatory Harmonization. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with top banker and stalwart of the All Progressives Congress, Sir Mark Wabara, as he turns 69 on February 26. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari salutes the Abia State-born insurance and banking expert who grew up in Yoruba land, schooled in Sokoto and studied at the University of Lagos, thus making him a well-rounded Nigerian. President Buhari wishes Sawabara many more years of greater service to his community, state and motherland, extending congratulations to his family, friends and associates on this auspicious occasion. Let's now join Hingino in Lagos for more reports.
Thank you, Kene, and a warm welcome to Lagos. Let's begin here by talking about maritime security. And in
2018, according to Statista, the International Maritime Bureau also reveals that the waters off the Nigerian coast experienced the highest number of piracy attacks globally in 2019. Challenged to reduce this figure, the Deep Blue project was conceived to enhance surveillance, better secure, and boost maritime trade. The acquisition of 2 special mission vessels, DB Abuja and DB Lagos, are part of the solution. Several intervention platforms, including land, air, and maritime assets, are to be acquired.
In the entire deployment, we are going to have 17 fast intervention vessels We're going to have helicopters, 2 helicopters, special purpose. We're going to even have UAV, that the one you call drones, in this. So the build-up, we are gradually assembling, the necessary assets.
Definitely it's going to add value, to the existing security architecture and the maritime domain.
Both vessels and other critical assets still being expected will go a long way in assisting maritime security agencies to ensure security of the nation's waterways up till the Gulf of Guinea and also harness the blue economy for national development. In Lagos, Dotun Okuyemi, NTA News.
Talking economy now. In order for Nigeria to compete favorably with other emerging markets in the area of trade facilitation, there is an urgent need for the country to adopt single window for exports. Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Olusegun Awolowo, stated this at a workshop on trade liberalization in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
A workshop which borders on trade facilitation and single window of Nigeria, United Nations Center for Trade Facilitation and Electronic Business is designed to harmonize trade and facilitate both national and international transactions. The single window for exports, stakeholders submitted, if ratified, will serve as an instrument to create more conducive trading environments going by the size of Nigerian markets, coupled with its natural and human resources.
We're working on interoperability of trade. That is, in fact, so we don't have so many disputes. Once everything is filed and filled electronically, then you can monitor and control it. And that's the best way to go about trade.
The immense benefits that Nigeria would derive from the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, if it becomes operational this year, depends largely on the adoption of single window for exports.
It will help them to provide information to the government and to do it through the one single entry point. This is an idea of single window.
So the government is trying to simplify the business processes surrounding export in order to encourage export and also to encourage non-oil export in particular, so as we can diversify our economy away from oil.
The Committee on Single Window for Exports will be working in tandem with the existing committee chaired by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, to achieve the set targets of promoting trade liberalization. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. More reports from Kenne in Abuja after this break. Please stay tuned.